How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series where once a week, at least once, during the summer, I take a look at a shark movie. And today we're going to be talking about Open Water from 2004. This is written, edited, and directed by Chris Kintz. Yeah, a pretty small crew here. And stars Blanchard, Ryan, and Daniel Travis. Daniel Travis. This movie, if we look at the cover, we have a cool shark swimming up towards these divers who are inside the logo. Pretty cool and sets this awesome shark tone. Not exactly the tone of the movie. Here, it is a shark movie, but the sharks are pretty minimal, and they're not running around doing their backflips. I do want to set the proper expectations for this movie. This movie tried some new things. It really was experimental, especially seeing what you could do for a low-budget film. This movie is based on a true story, and in turn, you get a lot of the movie trying to be very real and very naturalistic. You know how Texas Chainsaw Massacre had documentary-style filmmaking without really being a documentary or a mockumentary or a found footage film or anything? This is sort of like that, where it does feel really realistic. And also, this is a limited number of characters trapped in a relatively small location, a really good precursor to the confinement thriller movies. You know, nowadays you have a whole bunch of especially low-budget movies where it's just a few characters trapped in a small location that they have to figure out how to get out of. This is a really early example of that. And overall, I can really appreciate what this movie's trying to do. It's trying to be different. It's trying to be experimental. But that being said, it is kind of flat. You have to really know what this movie is going into it, and note that this is about divers trapped in the ocean, and you're going to be just watching them floating there for quite some time. So I can appreciate the idea, you know. I just wish somehow it had come out better, and I think nowadays modern confinement thrillers have learned a whole lot. I'll get to how they're better now, but I guess I just want to say I can appreciate this, but it is a little flat and boring. But let's talk a bit about the plot. Not going to do any major spoilers, but let's analyze the setup primarily. We open up with a busy young couple deciding to take a vacation. They go to an island, there's a tourist montage. They get on their boat, they get on this boat, and they start to do some scuba diving. And overall, very, very realistic, to the point of the opening scene is loading bags onto a car and talking on your cell phones, and constant little beeps and chatters, and the husband and wife talk to each other on the phone when they're literally one's in the car and one's in the house, and you could just walk and talk to her in person, but no, it's cell phones. And it is like the tourist sequence going around and probably filming a lot of people that don't know they're in a movie. Yeah, very, very real and naturalistic. And you get to the guy doing the safety spiel for the boat. Oh man, I have seen that guy at so many activities doing his little safety spiel, telling some lame jokes. It's real. That being said, the whole quote, cinema is real life with the boring parts cut out. I mean, we see that, you know, it's not, I mean, it does kind of feel like watching someone's vacation footage for a lot of the tourist montage section stuff. Yeah, nowadays there'd be much more jokes or something strange happening or hints somehow that something bad would happen. But here, it's realistic, you know, and I guess that is what they're going for. After that, they start diving, and of course our main couple is going to go a little deeper and a little farther than everyone. However, the problem arises when one guy forgets his mask, so he has to stay on the boat. However, this woman and her diving partner come up early. The woman apparently can't take it. She feels nauseated. And the guy says, hey, let me borrow your goggles and your diving partner, and I can actually dive. And they portray this guy like a huge jerk, but for real, he's just trying to go diving. He's not really. The bad guy is this idiot who's trying to do a head count in the middle of the boat. See, they counted everyone before, 20 people, but because someone went back on and then he didn't notice that 2 more people went into the water, his head count is going to be off by 2. Seriously, a head count is not a super hard task. Don't try to be doing it while people are actively getting in and out of the water. That's a terrible way of going about it. And of course he gets off. Just wait till the end and then count everybody. And they don't even notice that 2 oxygen tanks are missing. And I feel like I'm complaining about the movie, but bear in mind this is based on a true story, so I can't really complain about the movie. Gee, just pay more attention, people. But anyway, they get up and they realize the boat's missing. They're in the right place because the guy's navigating and it's the right time. By the way, they only had a half hour to dive, and the couple was down for exactly a half hour and the boat's already gone. They left early. And again, I know I'm complaining about a true element with true people and not really just a movie, but who goes out diving and goes, I don't need my whole diving time. 30 minutes is a lot. Let's just go home and not experience as much diving as humanly possible. Who are these people that are paying to go on a fun activity and don't want the full extent of it? Whatever. The 2 are now left in the ocean as they slowly march towards death, either by exhaustion from swimming, or the sun getting to them, or not enough water or food, or the sharks slowly stalking them. Yeah, the sharks pop up from time to time, but don't really expect this cover, you know? And I kind of knew that going in, but, you know, still, we get us some sharks sometimes. It's kind of cool. I wish there were more of them, but that is me talking purely from the perspective of a shark geek. Now, anyway, as far as the problems with directing and stuff, obviously, a lot of this movie is just this couple floating in the water. And, you know, they do cut very, very rarely to the surf, like the regular world. And I wish there was a little more of that. Maybe that, or flashbacks, or something to shake this up. But so much of this is just the couple floating in the water. And I do wish there were, you know, like, how many camera angles can you come up with? You know, it's 2 people floating in the water. So it's just like, you know, looking down at them or looking in them from the water itself or maybe below the... There's only so many camera angles you can do. Also, this movie doesn't look good. I think it's early digital cameras before digital cameras were good. There's just something about the colors in this movie where it hurts a little bit to look at. I don't know what happened with the cinematography. Again, I think it's just early digital cameras not being that great. But boy, this movie needs an AI upscale and color correction. Like, you could make this movie look decent, but as it stands now, it doesn't look that great. But anyway, I think a lot of the point I want to get to is this. During the movie, there's one of the lines said by the woman, and she says, I wanted to go skiing. And I kind of feel like later on there would be this movie called Frozen. Not the Disney one, the horror one. And in Frozen, a group of people are trapped on a ski lift. A very similar confinement thriller, probably inspired by this line here. And I think by comparing open water to Frozen, we can see just how much better confinement thrillers really did get. Because Frozen is significantly better than open water, and there's a few reasons for that. One, humor. You're stuck somewhere. How can you make the movie interesting when you can't really move? Tell some legitimately funny jokes. That adds levity, helps pass the time. But also characterization. All the characters in Frozen had a sense of, who they were, the best friend, the guy and his girlfriend, and how either one of them feels like a third wheel. There's a good bit of characterization and history and a past, and they all talk like they've known each other. Boy, the characters in this movie, I spent a little over an hour with them, not quite an hour and a half, and I really don't feel like I knew them super well, They're both kind of busy workaholics, and that's about it. He's kind of a nerd, she's a little snarky. Okay, I really wish we explored their past a little bit, gave us who they were as characters, but no, the characters in this movie are flat, and we have nothing but time to learn about them, and I really wish we had more of a character study, and a lot of modern confinement thrillers do that. Use this as an excuse to do a character study. But not here. And the last one was Frozen always had a plan, they were always trying to do something, and they always were experimenting, going, maybe we can go down this thing, maybe we can go over here, if we can do this or do that or throw something, can we jump, I don't know. But Frozen, they were always thinking how to get out of the situation and coming up with plans. And here, a very killer mistake happens in this movie where the guy goes, no, we're in a current and everything's farther away than you think. We shouldn't even try to swim. We just hope someone comes. He's smart enough to realize there's nothing we can do, which might be true, but makes for a terrible movie. They should have plans and they should be trying something, but to see them give up so early on and just float around, that absolutely sucks, and they needed to be thinking how to get out, and in turn, we're just kind of bobbing there the whole movie. But yeah, I guess I want to say this was an experimental movie, and it did come out real and naturalistically, so I can appreciate what they were trying to do, but I can't legitimately say that it came out great. But hey, apparently enough people liked it that it got 2 sequels. I hear the sequels are different enough, so going to probably check them out. We'll see what comes of them. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my shark movies playlist where you can see me cover other big shark movies like Jaws, Sharknado, and Deep Blue Sea, and hopefully I'll get to the sequels to this pretty soon. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.